Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. In our reading today, there are multiple times in which the Lord instructs the people to keep the feast of the Passover and also the feast of unleavened bread that was in connection to it. And the Lord is very adamant, saying that, this was something that they were not only supposed to do at the time of the Passover during the Exodus, but also something that they were to observe year after year, even after they enter into the land. And the Lord very much wanted them to remember the great deliverance that he had given them and how he redeemed them and brought them out of Egypt. And we can see why this would be the case. There's a lot of benefit to remembering this great redemption. For one, it would stir up within their hearts a sense of gratitude to God, to think about the favors that he had shown them in the past, the way that he had kept his covenant and kept his promises, and their hearts could overflow with thanksgiving to the Lord, to remember the way that he had dealt with them so kindly. But we could also see that this would also help maintain their faith and even grow their faith as they think about how God had been there for them in the past, how he had kept his promise, how he had used his power and his might to drive them out of that mighty nation of Egypt. It would increase their faith to know that God was there for them even in the present moment, and that the God that they served, was a greater God than all the other gods that the other nations were serving. And they could have faith and confidence in that God to protect them, to guide them, and to help them in their day-to-day activities, and then also in their interrelations with other nations. But it also keeps them humble as well. It's always good to remember where one has come from, to remember that they were slaves in Egypt, to remember how hard and burdensome they had their lives had become under the rule of Pharaoh, and to remember that they were where they were in the land because of what God had done, and that it was him who caused them to be able to be established as a nation and to have the wonderful blessings that they had in connection to the land. And so this remembering what the Lord done for them would keep them humble and help them realize that they were who they were, not because of anything that was good within them or because of their own strength, but because of the kind way that God had dealt with them. And as we think about that as believers in Christ, who has become for us a great deliverer, a deliverer not necessarily from a physical kingdom, but from the kingdom of darkness into the kingdom of his Son, the kingdom of light. The Lord has delivered us and has broken the bondage of sin in our lives and has brought forgiveness and redemption to us. And for the same reasons that it was good for them to remember their redemption, is the same reasons it's good for us to remember our redemption as well. As we reflect back on what Christ has done for us, it just stirs up a heart of gratitude to know that the Lord wasn't obligated to help us. He's not, there's nothing that he owes us or anything like that, but out of the goodness of his heart and out of the love that he had, and according to the promises that he made that were based on that love, he fulfilled his promise in Jesus Christ in bringing us a greater redemption than even Israel experienced there in Egypt. But also it helps us to have faith too. This same God who gave up his own beloved Son, the one who was able to give, or was willing to give, the greatest gift that could ever be given, is still with us today. And he still loves us just as he loved us then. And he's still there for us as he was there for us then. And as we reflect on the mighty way in which he helped us, and the great love that he showed, and the way that he helped us, it can help us in our day-to-day struggles and to have confidence that that same God will be with us. But it also keeps us humble when we realize that we are who we are in Christ because of, and purely because of, what Christ has done for us and what God has done for us through Christ. And that we are not where we are today in our position before God because of our own works or our own goodness, but because of his love and his grace and his mercy. And it can help us to maintain a sense of humility as we think about the wonderful way that God has helped us. So As the Israelites were encouraged to remember what God had done for them year after year through the Passover, it's good for us to remember what Christ has done for us. And I would say even each and every day to reflect on the good things that God has done for us through Christ. And in doing so, he can help us to have a heart of gratitude, to be humble, to walk a path of faith, and to draw closer to him. So these are some things we can reflect on and think about as we do our reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.